Hello, the people. It's me, Red Hand, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about Warhammer and Donald Trump, specifically his Chaos alignment. Now, for the uninitiated of people who are not fans of Warhammer, very simply, Warhammer is like this. Warhammer and Warhammer 40k. They're these fantasy worlds, right, where you have a bunch of different factions. In 40k it's aliens, and in fantasy it's fantasy races like orcs and elves, right? But then there's this other thing, which is like the magical side, and there's demons and chaos gods, right? So chaos in the warp and whatnot, and what that is, they're the intangible things, right? So they're very simple. There's four main ones. You have Khorne, who is the lord of bloodshed and slaughter, and war as well. He's blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. He doesn't care where the blood flows as long as it's flowing. Then you have Tzeentch, who is the lord of scheming, cat, and magic. Magic, backstabbing, thievery, lies, but also knowledge, and the pursuit of learning, right? And then Slaanesh, who is the newest one, god of sensation, debauchery. A lot of people when they try to break up, they're like, oh, which of the seven deadly sins would each of the chaos gods be? They don't understand how the chaos gods work. They can't be broken up like that. Like, oh, Nurgle's gluttony because he's fat, and Khorne's wrath because war. But Slaanesh is all of them. Slaanesh is the seven deadly sins, if any of the gods correlate to any of the sins at all. Slaanesh is the pursuit of sensation through any means, whether that is the satisfaction of murder, sex, is the biggest one that is visually portrayed usually. Sex and kink especially. The BDSM, you got like leather straps, spikes, scarring whips, paddles, whatnot for their weapons and shit. It's like. But it's more than that. It's gluttony, it's drugs, it's sound, rock and roll, extreme music that almost hurts your ears, but it's right at the edge of hurting, right? And then there's Nurgle, who is the lord of plague, pestilence, and entropy, and the downfall of nations. Now, the other day, I was on Threads, and I called Donald Trump a Nurgle demon. And now, because, he is shits his pants all the time, and he is causing the downfall of one of the greatest empires to ever exist on this planet. He is the entropic force that is leading to the death of America. And while at a surface level that seems right, I've come to realize that he's actually much more like Horus, right? As opposed to Typhus, who are characters who succumbed to the dark gods in Warhammer, right? Now, Horus is a character who is would be chaos undivided, meaning as opposed to being a champion of any one of the gods, he is in fact equally sponsored and empowered by all four of them. Now, the reason I have come to this conclusion about why Donald Trump would be chaos undivided, he's America's Horus, is because, well, I mean, just look at this presidency, this term of his presidency, he is very and just aspects of his whole life outside of the presidency. He is very, very big on all four of the aspects. Let's just start from the simplest and go to the most complex. Again, Nurgle being, he shits his pants all the time. He's slovenly. Absolute disgustor. When people who sit next to him at UN meetings and whatnot always comment on how bad he smells. There's the COVID thing. He had a pretty big hand in causing a lot of deaths from COVID. Again, disease, pestilence. He's causing his use of water and whatnot is causing droughts, bulldozing forests, and that causes, differences in the weather and causes them to, what crops aren't getting as watered anymore. Having the National Guard open California's reservoirs as an act of attempting to fuck over their farmers. All right, that's all entropic. Very, very deliberately destroying our relations with all of our previous allies, pulling us out of all the agreements, pulling U.S. aid, dipping out of the WHO, the Paris Climate Accords, and whatnot. Now, let's go to next step up, corn. You have, again, war, bloodshed, deploying the military, like even just during his first term, when he would deploy the city police to knock out, and not knock out like as in physically knock out, but like knocking up a piece off a board, but like move people out of the way of a church so he could go do a photo shoot where he holds a Bible upside down, using tear gas. And then this is like Nurgle and Khorne, January 6th, again an attempt to overthrow the institutions of the United States and replace a government with his own. And then the violence that happened, the bloodshed, several cops died. People always talk about, oh, Ashley Babbitt, it was police overreach and the feds and whatnot. No, more cops died. They died afterwards in the hospital or later by suicide, but they were casualties of January 6th. And that doesn't even go into Iran, which is a war that has apparently been ended 38 times just this year by Donald Trump. Continuing airstrikes as on the day that the Epstein files are supposed to be released. That's a preview of the aspects of Slaanesh. And all of this, the deploying the National Guard to cities, taking off restriction of ICE, allowing them to operate with impunity, not punishing police officers who do wrong, pardoning everyone from J6. And now let's go back up one step more. Slaanesh, he is so riddled. His body is so weak from decades of drug abuse, Adderall, cocaine, that he is incontinent, which also is from apparently when he was raping a kid, they stuck him in the ass with like a tent stake or something, and then kicked it, and that totally destroyed his I forget this particular structure, but the name of the structure. But anyways, he's had to wear diapers ever since, and that was when he was much younger, when he was like 40 or 50. Now, well, no, he was born. Okay, so yeah, closer to 50, 60. Now again, that's ultimate debauchery. And if you've heard of any of the sort of things that went on Epstein's Island, that's definitely going to be, that's very Slaneshi. You know, his way of, every time he has a party, he's always got teams of performers doing generally young girls in relatively skimpy outfits. Like in his first inauguration in 2017, the silhouettes were there. Again, team of little girls who wear very tight, revealing clothing. I say revealing. I mean, it's just part of the mental sickness of people on the right. And yeah, that goes into that sort of Slaneshi debauchery. You know, again, having endless parades for himself, for his birthday parties, fireworks shows, setting stuff up on the lawn. Again, going back to Nurgle, bulldozing the Jackie Kennedy Rose Garden and the what is it, the East Wing, and then painting over the reflecting pool and then causing it to be home to algae and mosquitoes. He literally said he's going to drain the swamp, but as soon as he gets to the White House, he installs a swamp. And yeah, that's like that's the most Nurglite thing I can think of. Now, and again, back to Slaanesh, the endless consumption of shit like McDonald's and Wendy's and whatnot. It's like he doesn't even eat actual food. And now going to the Tzeentch one, again, the DOGE is probably the very biggest example of this, but you can tell there's plans that have been in the works. Project 2025 is such a scheme. The endless bots on the internet who are constantly spewing his directives. You know, certain grifters like I think Melanie Mack, Matt Walsh, Gunther Eagleman. They get their marching orders, and then within 15 hours of whatever happens, they are all spewing almost verbatim, with the difference of a couple commas, within minutes of each other, the same sorts of rhetoric. And I think there's more of them. Who's like Sassafras, Joshua Hames. Yeah, they're these kinds of evil people who are part of the disinformation that are. And then there's other things that aren't maybe not necessarily directly involved Trump, but like Velma, how that people talk about it being woke slop, but it's actually an ultra conservative insertion psyop designed to flip, to make something so awful and present it as left that it turns people away from that direction, right? Same thing with like the whole minor attracted persons and a couple other things. I'm not even gonna get into that whole side of everything, but like those right wing psyops are like, oh hey, fellow Pride members, and like it's very Tzeentchian. The scheming, the double talk, the infiltration. And again, just the CIA. Oh, fucking Tzeentch would love the CIA. The whole FBI thing, in installing people loyal to him into all these institutions, a bunch of federal judges, Kash Patel for the FBI, RFK. Again, putting people so unqualified in charge of these organizations like Elon Musk, RFK, and Kash Patel, again, very Nurglite and simultaneously very Tzeentchian. You know, it's very, and RFK is like, his own whole bag of worms. Very, if Nurgle has a champion on Earth, it's RFK Jr. But then, Pete Hegseth, Korn's greatest soldier, again, Israeli shill, completely unqualified for the job he's been given, and just, again, Pam Bondi. And then as soon as these people, he installs people who are who have slight things that his base dislikes. Cash Patel being Desi, as a Pam Bondi being a woman, and so that he can, RFK being a former drug addict, and so that at some point, if something under their purview goes wrong, like what happened with Pam Bondi, he can then put the blame on them, and his base will accept that they were impure from the get-go because of that aspect. Again, if something goes wrong, that can be blamed on the FBI, and Trump needs to use Cash as a scapegoat. You can bet every single one of his followers are going to be throwing around slurs for brown people, and saying that he was always a traitor and stuff. Again, just like what happened with Pam Bondi. The whole Fox News Network thing for the past 20 years, the funding, the buddy-buddiness. It's just very, again, Donald Trump is America's Horus. He is chaos undivided. He is completely, again, in all aspects, he is fully juiced by those fucking chaos gods. Again, and by the way, I don't believe the chaos gods are real. I'm not like some weird fringe religious person. I'm just saying the parallels in between. Like I notice things. I'm a pattern. Hashtag noticing, right? And God, those fucking people, I can't even. But yeah, that's my take. It's he's very similar in a lot of ways to that sort of character.